Welcome back to the League of Legends World Championship in 2023. It's the quarterfinals. It's NRG going up against Weibo. Game number 1 was a back and forth brawl, but it was Weibo who proved to be the superior team yet again and claimed victory in the first matchup. But gentlemen, it's a best of 5. We got a lot of game left to play.
We do. I think I know what the problem was for game number 1. Azil was wearing that headset.
Yeah.
Here, take this, clean that up.
Oh, okay.
Get every bit of the curse off the headset, wipe that sucker down, and we'll get into this one. The first game was so competitive here. Let's see what the draft adaptations were. You could tell that NRG towards the later stages really did feel the lack of a primary teamfight engager.
Yeah.
And really good job from Weibo there, pulling the trigger on those Barons, then just protecting Light with everything they had.
Again, though, for NRG, you can still take hope from that game, right? You can see where it kind of went a bit wonky in the draft. You still ran the early game. You still were able to beat Weiwei in a lot of these situations and shut down his potential early plays. So for NRG, honestly, I'd be like, lads, we can't do this. We've just shown that it's only 1 or 2 things that went awry. Everything is still left to play for.
And everything's looking eerily like deja vu here in draft number 2. It's NRG on blue side yet again. Renata, Rumble, Azir, same 3 bans. Orianna, same first pick. Maokai, Jarvan, Xayah, same 3 bans from Weibo. We're having a very, very salty run back here, my friends.
Yeah, I definitely can see why both of these sections of the draft are the same. The Orianna was great for Palafox. He made a lot of early moves for the team. Obviously, Light was really good with the Aphelios, but here are the actual adaptations here. The Vi, that primary guaranteed engage that we were talking about. This champion is so much different than the Viego because the ult guarantees you a late game shockwave. You don't have to like get a lucky flank or flash onto them or something with it.
And even just taking the Kai'Sa as well away as well means that you don't have that big beefy frontliner. That's easy then for Light to try and hide behind. Still getting a lot of the same stuff though coming through with this Neeko now.
And that was my idea of what NRG were thinking with their NAR ban last time around on ban number 5. They were thinking, hey, Weibo probably going to save the counter pick for TheShy, so we'll ban NAR and we'll try and get Kai'Sa after they show first, but Weibo beat them to the punch. So NRG now have bumped up the Kai'Sa pick here before bans. I do expect them to do a little bit of protection ban for him against TheShy.
Yeah, I think they're going to bump out a couple of these AD carries though. When you look at the Sen is going to be gone, you can probably look at something like the Kai'Sa being taken off the board here as well. Just trying to limit that pool. Maybe you want to look at something like a Jinx. We've seen us kind of teeter back into the Jinx Aphelios style, but I don't know if that's really what you want to do here for NRG.
So the 2 picks that TheShy has played against Kai'Sa, as the NAR ban I'm talking about, NAR is the first one. The other one has been the Aatrox. I don't think the Aatrox necessitates a ban though. So we'll see if NRG can spread their focus here or if they actually do want to take that one away as well.
I'd rather the Renekton.
Yeah.
I think Renekton is a much bigger issue. I think it's one of the TheShy's most played over the course of the entire summer. He always looks fantastic on that pick. He's able to do such a good job of bullying the Kai'Sa when it comes into lane. So I'd much rather see that one banned away than the Aatrox. On the upside though, the Ziggs ban, a curious one. I mean, this is something that Light has played and definitely something that I think is incredibly strong, but it's not something that I would have expected NRG to bring into the series today.
Yeah, NRG have talked about how they have so many picks still in their pockets. Maybe this is one of them from some of the scrims there for FBI. Ziggs can be really annoying for Aphelios, of course, because Aphelios having no inherent dash, definitely an easy target for the bombs.
All right, final ban of the draft is the Viego from NRG's side, and there is the Aatrox you guys are talking about. That's TheShy's answer into the Kai'Sa of Dhokla.
So yeah, I was saying, my feeling is that it doesn't require a ban, but now we're gonna see. Did it require a ban when he plays it?
I think in this sort of draft though, you're actually in an okay spot because you don't really have backline access to try and set you up to get onto an Orianna. You've got great peel that can come through from both the Vi and also the Kai'Sa. Now you've added in an Alistar as well. I really like what NRG have brought to the table here.
Yeah, this is completely worlds apart from draft number 1. Draft number 1 for NRG, so much kite back, has some early skirmisher front lines, but that's about it. This one is dive, 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 dive. We've got guaranteed shockwave delivery with the Vi. We have dive bomb Kai'Sa in there for FBI to be able to follow up.
Well, it looks like a very different draft, a very different style of play for NRG's side, but over for Weibo, it's 3 of the picks being exactly the same. Make it 4 as the Milio is locked in next to the Aphelios, guaranteeing that the Rell is in the jungle once more. The only thing changing for Weibo in this game is the Aatrox into the Kai'Sa.
I think it is a bit of an interesting one though to see Weibo still prioritizing the enchanter supports, especially when you look at like, yeah, Crisp hasn't had the best of times trying to play engage supports. Domestically, you think of like, I mean, there's a meme with his Nautilus hooks. His Nautilus hooks kind of send him in, don't bring anyone else, and then you give over a kill as Weibo. So I definitely think it's been a case of, well, Crisp is feeling more confident on these styles of picks, and you will have to see if you're going to have enough of that anti-engage setup and enough of that well, let's get rid of the CC to set up here for Light, because this is way more dive focused and way more targeted focus on him than the last round.
Yeah, Weibo have so many options, right, with their comp. They can both play to peel and Kai back, as well as to set up their own plays, set up their own initiative, especially with Xiaohu and Weiwei again. I also feel like Weibo are going to have more damage if NRG don't have a good beginning to the game. So I think the early stages of the game might be critically important for NRG to start kind of gaining some items and being able to bolster some of those base damage, because this time around they're running just the core of the 2 DPS, and while K'Sante early stages, you know, base damage and stuff can do decently with the Iceborne, in the later stages Weibo will outpace.
And that's why I think you have to try and see if you can find this early success with NRG in the skirmishes, like we saw in game 1. 2 kills quickly going across the Palafox. Maybe you can try and set up for something like that once more, but not having the Renekton there and then having that Orianna in the mid lane, I think is going to make it kind of difficult to try and play topside. And in theory, Aphelios Milio should have control over the bot end.
Well, let's rock and roll. It's time for game number 2. Remember back in game number 1, we had a very, very close match for a very long time. It was NRG often just a little bit ahead in terms of the gold, 1 or 2,000. But once Weibo finally took control over the game, they never really let that grasp go. And it was them who were able to ultimately take the Nexus. Now, can NRG actually strike back with these changes in the draft, taking away the K'Sante, grabbing the Vi before it gets banned? Or does Weibo's comp that they put together in game number 1 and now just very slightly tweaked have that secret sauce once again?
Yeah, this is going to have to be the game for NRG to prove that they can actually beat a carry plus enchanter bottom lane, with allowing Crisp now 7 times in a row with playing a ranged bot lane support for themselves. If NRG fail here, then it's going to be very rough.
All right, as the minions are about to spawn, a reminder. Remember that you can log into your Riot account on lolesports.com and watch Worlds live to earn exclusive Worlds emotes and icons. That's right now. Worlds is live. Go do it. Honestly, you probably already are since you're here watching right now, but you can see Weibo starting their own jungle path here with the enemy Raptors, as Weiwei is going to steal that one away, and Contractz now under pressure from the enemy jungler. He's going to have to be careful. It's level 1 versus level 2. Rell's not normally a duelist, but he's dueling Contractz straight to the death. Shattering Strike. Contractz trying to run it off, has to flash. Weiwei absolutely throttles Contractz' early plan.
And that's a disaster for Contractz now, because Weiwei can actually start to path through mid with the push that Xiaohu has. You've already got control for the Xiaohu on top side, and they can look to contest that top end of the map as well.
The delayed invade, so good. Getting level 2 off the Raptors. Delayed, and they don't see it in the fog of war. It's so good with the Rell, with so many of these jungle champs nowadays having really powerful AoE options available to them. With Rell, with the Q, he runs Contractz off, he gets the flash, he gets his whole red side. Massive stuff for Weibo, because now they can count on Contractz only have his own blue quadrant. They've got pushing lanes here to be able to defend their own red quadrant. They have wards on their own Raptors, on their own red as well, to see if Contractz tries to go over there. So Contractz is going to have a dangerous time fighting his way out of this one and back into it. Considering no flash, he'll be a prime target for collapses. But Weiwei will show bottom and force the dive.
Oh man, it's level 1 for both NRG bottom laners. Weibo's ready to collide here for the 3-man play, but Weiwei misses the Shattering Strike, so that means the play gets called off instead. NRG are going to hit their level 2s. Contractz now has an opportunity to move into the enemy jungle and get a red buff after all.
Yeah, because he shows bottom there, and there's no move from either of the solo lanes, that is going to be some welcome catch-up for Contractz.
I think it's a massive mistake from Weibo, though. Like, you try and look, Weiwei could have gone through mid, look at the push that's already there, and started to contest on that top side with the push TheShy has. Instead, they go for that play on bot side,
that's
but
what I thought
level
was gonna
2 gets hit, yeah. But then you look at, like, well, I'm Rell into Alistar. Alistar literally counters me. He's great because he can stop the engage, stop any sort of follow-up. You don't really have the tankiness then to try and follow through, and it's not like FBI and IgNar are kind of a pushover. Now Contractz looking on this top side after picking up some of those comps.
Can Dhokla force TheShy's hand here, though? Q3?
Nope, goes for it. Does not collide on the target, but just goes after him anyway. Pathmaker to immediately push TheShy back. Vault Breaker goes out. TheShy flashing away. Doesn't hit with the Q3, doesn't hit with the Infernal Chains as a counter attack, so TheShy losing flash there.
All right, so Contractz can now retreat back to his Gromp, into his Wolves. His Raptor's gonna get stolen on second respawn here, though, by Weiwei. Obviously, he has perfect timer because they're the ones who stole it themselves, level 1.
Yeah.
And that's going to be also an area that's very comfortable for Xiaohu to play off of, hovering back down towards his bottom side.
I think this is good from Weibo, though, to try and punish Contractz. When I've seen NRG performing at their best here at the World Championship, it has been through Contractz, but Weiwei spotted it on this ward. He should be in just a moment.
Yep.
So NRG will know this is coming.
So they do have Dhokla and Palafox possible teleports to be able to teleport to tower.
All right, here we go again. Weiwei coming in, looking for the Shattering Strike. Again, he doesn't find what he's looking for. Weiwei's got to try to get away now. He walks back into the brush. The Ignite used by IgNar just to guarantee if they kept that play going, Weiwei would have died.
They're not getting the kills, but NRG are under a lot of pressure on the spot side. You're looking at the CS, it's about a 10 CS lead going across to Weibo on that bot end because they're constantly being forced on NRG side to give up CS, back away from the turret every time this wave hits. So it's still netting these little leads for Weibo despite the fact Weiwei's not connecting.
Yeah. At this tournament, bot lane Prowl has been primary for Weibo. They've stuck to these range supports back over and over and over. They use that to get their turret plates, to get their minion waves built up, so you can have these visits down here. And Light definitely paid them back in the last game.
I mean, you guys are talking about the bottom lane CS advantage. It's the smallest one on the Rift. Top lane, it's a lead for TheShy. Mid lane, it's a lead for Xiaohu. Weibo is just outlaning energy across the Rift right now. They've got a 600 gold lead with no kills. Now IgNar is going to get rooted up by the Gravitum. Crash down from Weiwei. First blood, and it goes over to Crisp.
This is so good from Weibo, just going, hey, look, as long as we control this bottom quadrant, we control the bot side of the map. And once more, it's just Weiwei going, I don't care about my CS, I'm going to go, but Crisp
having to flash away now himself as Contractz catches him at the very end of his recall, nearly getting a punish there, but not enough.
And that's a big wave built up too. FBI here after the visit from Contractz should be fine. But man, the transition here for Weibo looking pretty good as we get Dhokla all out, and TheShy answers with Aatrox ultimate as well.
But this is what we were talking about, right? When you look at NRG, we kind of were like, look, FBI needs to get up and running early. You want him to be in a position where, like, okay, we can actually look maybe towards these things like early dragons after we find a couple of successful ganks from Contractz in the bot lane, try to set ourselves up for team fights so we can play around. But with how Weibo are dictating the pace of this game, you're going to have an opportunity for Light to start to scale into a position where he's comfortable. The big question for me is kind of looking at things like this Rift Herald in the coming minutes as well, because Weibo are actually going to get this first dragon, and you imagine then trying to use the mid pressure that Xiaohu has once more and the control over bot side to lane itself in towards the Rift Herald in a minute's time.
The control over bot side already translating into the first neutral objective of the game with this first Drake, 7 minutes in. So that'll be an easy pickup there for Weiwei. A little bit more damage, plus the smite gets it done. Nearly a 2,000 gold lead at 7 minutes from this incredible laning coming out from the Weibo squad all around. Contractz, once again, going to look for something bottom. But the problem is, it's red-white guns on Light, and he's level 6 with the ulti. You don't even win that 3v2.
And there's a Xiaohu, and there's a Weiwei, and there's a ton of Weibo members that want to get involved.
Yeah, the return of the focus to bottom lane for Weibo. Oh, here we go.
Xiaohu trying to get out of this one, dropping the clone, using it to be able to block the Vault Breaker. That clone is so powerful because of its ability to block things.
Yeah, so strong though for Weibo, splitting the map with their starting straight from level 1 and being able to control this bottom side, because when you scale into the game with an enchanter on your team, it makes those team fights so easy to play out.
Also, having control over Contractz means he's massively far behind and trying to hit level 6. Didn't go towards his top side to get the camps there that were respawning. He's now picking up his red that just respawns on bot side. But when you look at Weiwei, he gets 2 camps. He's going to be able to hit level 6. They can start to play for Rift Herald. So Contractz needs to very swiftly clear out this top side and get a reset in if he hopes to match where the strength is of the Rell right now.
Rell translating that strength up into the top side. River going for a quick Rift Herald. You can see Crisp rotating up here alongside Light. Weibo is bringing the entire team to guarantee that they have control over this objective. NRG is just strictly behind. I would be surprised if they really want to try to contest this at all. The Herald already mostly dead. One more eyeball proc plus a smite should just seal the deal. And there it is. Weiwei picks it up. Weibo are getting everything in game 2.
And it's just playing off of so well around this bottom side of the map. And this, as Kobe was saying, has become the Weibo special, to be honest, both in playoffs, regional finals, and now at the World Championship. Weiwei going for these level 3 ganks consistently on the bot side, trying to make sure that anyone that Light and Crisp are up against are under pressure. And they keep going. His losses all over the place, man.
And we get the -1. Come on. Make it stop, Flowers.
I don't think Weibo are taking their foot off the gas pedal anytime soon, man. These guys are looking like a machine here in game number 2. Light's already got his Berserker's Greaves. He's still got another CS advantage. This guy's just insane.
And this is where I expect Weibo to continue putting this pressure on the bottom side, right? Xiaohu gonna have control, Rift Herald down in the plunket there, make sure you're able to get the charge, get more gold into Light's hands, and then again, just let Light be this massive Aphelios with the accompanying Milio. And it's again just trying to play off the fact that you've got the enchanted setup there in the bot lane.
All right, Weibo, surprise, surprise. He's on the bottom side of the map. Haven't seen this before. Palafox gonna run away though and dodge the snare.
And you can see him dodging that snare away. Remember, this is our featured matchup, the junglers and mid laners, Contractz and Palafox versus Weiwei and Xiaohu. Featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. So much for both teams revolves around how these duos interact. And so far in this one, Weiwei's early control over the jungle, y'all already talked about it, is allowing Weibo to just dominate the game.
I think Contractz punched first in game 1, but it's kind of Weiwei punching last now, as he's able to get the win in the last game, now controlling this as well. I think you need to find a way to shut this down.
Yeah, and it is Light from the rafters with the steel chair that comes in and says, my featured matchup knocks everybody out down there. Let's see if he can do it again. Also, I have in the back of my mind this Aatrox that we were talking about in draft for TheShy, and how it has been along with the Gnar, his preferred pick into the K'Sante. We're going to get to see why as he approaches his one item, and we start to see the transition of the teams into more of those skirmishes.
Yeah, TheShy's Aatrox, nothing to be messed with, man. This guy is so good on the champ.
And remember, at the beginning of the tournament, he was still building lethality Aatrox, but he said after that one, his coaches talked to him, and they're like, hey, yo, so Freak buffed up the Gore Drinker, and a lot of the... never mind, we're going to go for a bottom side dive here. NRG, they kill the ward, they're still gonna go.
NRG wants to make the 4-man play. They got the Unbreakable Will and they're ready to start. Weiwei's already here for the counter-attack, but they jump in. The Killer Instinct's gonna find Light, and he's already down. IgNar with a flash away to make sure he doesn't pay one back. Pop Blossom only finds one. Xiaohu's gonna pick up IgNar, but now he might be taken down. TheShy teleports in. World Enders ready to end their world, baby. FBI staying alive only for a moment to kill Xiaohu, but now they're trapped between a rock and a hard place. FBI falls. There's nothing left. NRG are crushed. It's 5 kills over to Weibo.
TheShy teleports down behind them and slams the door shut behind NRG after what was a successful dive onto Light, killing the Aphelios, getting the flash. But TheShy is here. There's no escape. They grab the extra kills, and while Dhokla does get played on the top side, TheShy will get the same bottom, and there is a dragon up. So you can use Rift Herald mid, transfer that mid pressure over towards the dragon as well. NRG have reset though.
Got a little ahead of myself, only 4 in that specific engagement. Dhokla, luckily, still alive on the other side of the map. But now, a TP coming in. They want to try to get something back. Big Dokes wants to get involved. They're going after Crisp and Weiwei. Crisp, low HP, still trying to get himself out. But Dokla's not going to get much of anything. The Drake is at least alive. NRG might be able to use this momentum to try to snowball into that neutral objective as TheShy retreats back underneath the tier 1 turret.
NRG are playing for the dragon, but it's Weibo playing for plates on this Aphelios. You can see immediately Light enters up towards that top side. He wants to try and push in and get a few more of these plates. And you can see here, as we start to go for this dive, IgNar immediately pops the Unbreakable win. He's will to actually go for this dive. They get on towards Light, immediately get rid of him. But it's the TP from TheShy who's just come off of reset. It's the ult here from Xiaohu that actually gets interrupted by Contractz. But now you're incredibly separated. FBI is taking a ton of damage, and there's just nowhere for NRG to escape to.
Yeah, TheShy came in first, or TheShy came in second, Xiaohu came in first, and they close the door. They pick up all 4 of the kills here. And now back to the top side. They've already rotated the bottom lane here for Weibo. Over to say hello to Dhokla.
Game number 2 here in this series is feeling a lot more like the first time we saw these two teams fight all the way back in the Swiss stage. Weibo is just absolutely running the map. NRG does not seem to have much of a response for what these guys are bringing. Even when they do make a play, Weibo just makes one better.
And the problem is for NRG that you don't really have control now on this top end. So when Rift Herald starts to spawn, if you contest Rift Herald, you lose top tower, which is all going to go in favor of Weibo anyway. And now a Kraken Slayer completed for Light as well. He's in such a good spot. Yeah, and it's so difficult too because Weibo, with this very tanky bruiser build for Aatrox with the Gore Drinker into the Sterix Gauge, very too powerful item combination, by the way. He's going to have a lot of priority in the side lanes to set up these moves for Weibo. So Weibo will have an easy time clearing out the vision, and then you constantly have to check over your shoulder. Where's the Rell? Where's the Neeko? Where is the engage going to come from? And it was this Aatrox that was such a problem for Mad Lions. We saw Niski get massive kill advantage. We thought he was going to be able to carry, but then the Gore Drinker Sterix came through for the Aatrox, and TheShy was like, I'm back in my element. And it feels like we're getting to his element once more here, as he's going to be such a massive factor. Now NRG pushing in top, pushing in mid, actually will give them first move over towards this Rift Herald. I thought Weibo would have been happy to try and answer with a push in top, but they're just not in position. All right. TheShy is kind of coming over, and second Rift Herald does take a little bit longer to kill, but it seems like NRG should be able to wrap this one up with that eyeball pop. Yep. Again, there are no turret plates available for this one, and you just saw how much extra money Weibo had gotten off of turret plates here, so they don't feel too bad about just giving this lone secondary Rift Herald up and allowing TheShy to continue to split push down on bottom side. You can see on the minimap, he's about to get that wave into the bottom side. I wonder how low that turret even is on the bottom side, because he should be able to finish it, I think. Red, 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 red. Even support is 900 gold ahead here in this game. Weibo running every single matchup. Yeah, that's a lane economy shot to the hearts of LCS fans. I believe they're still loading the energy bars, okay? Okay. There's a bug on that graphic, still loading. Yeah, we'll get that fixed. That's what we'll go with. Get that fixed for you real quick. Quick reminder, LoL Esports does not recommend lethal levels of copium. Just going to go ahead and add that disclaimer there with an asterisk. I'm well adapted to it, though, because I've been on it for 12 years. And the minions take the top lane tier 1 turret. That means there is no local gold going over to the side of Weibo, so not quite as much money as they could have possibly got, but still taking another objective from their opponents. They now have a 2-0 turret lead 16 minutes into the game. I mean, I appreciate the silver linings, but I think for NRG, they want to try and get a little bit more here. You can see Xiaohu's on this top side. They have to be careful of not losing mid off the back of this, but can they get the dive? Looks like they're coming around forward. IgNar not going to go in. They do not have eyes on the rest of Weibo. They do not want to overcommit. And that's the thing, the lack of vision's really hurting them. With Weibo having so much control over what's been happening mid, top, river, even their own jungle, it's been really hard for NRG to get this vision deeper onto the top side so they can try and make these plays. So when it's only Light who's actually shown on the map, they're a bit wary of trying to go for these plays, especially with TheShy having that TP up again. TheShy has that Sterix Gauge now fully completed. The item comparison in top lane is just absolutely massive. 1 mythic plus 2 cloth armors and a better boot versus 2 fully completed items. TheShy is running this show from morning till night, whenever he's fighting in his 1v1 on the side. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald summoned up here in the top lane. That's going to guarantee they can take the tier 1 turret. We'll see if they want to try to push it ahead to gain anything else. Contractz moving forward to clear out the control ward here in the Krug Brush. As no, they do not want to overcommit to this one. Herald's going to get cleared out before he gets the second charge. We're kind of running into the stage that I was afraid of, Dagda, where NRG aren't going to have as much damage really to follow this up. You know, with Orianna just on Ludens, and with FBI going this longer scaling build for the Kai'Sa now, where everybody's rushing the Storm Razor, Weibo right now have so many options, like we said, the side lane as well as the team fight here. So with this Dragon, maybe the vision advantage could be something that NRG can use to get a foothold back into this game. Contract's just ticking over to level 9 as well. He's been put really far behind. I think it's a bit of a one-way ticket for him if he goes in, but he might need to punch that to try and get this fight started for NRG. Meanwhile, back in mid, it's the Magnet Storm committed by Weiwei, forcing out the Unbreakable Will from IgNar. That means that not only is it the Vi, but the Alistar too. If he decides to go in, he's not getting back out if NRG decides to fight. I kind of like the idea of not fighting. Fighting was making me real nervous here. And especially after that, looks like NRG will just give it up. Dragon number 2, not going to move the needle on the entire game that much. Yeah, it's just unfortunate for NRG that when they look at the map state, they can't really get much more for the Dragon.
Yeah.
Top tier 2 is a long ways away from being under any real pressure. They would love to try and create some pressure down towards this bottom side, but obviously that's where Weibo have concentrated their efforts. So it just ends up in a bit of a weird spot where NRG, where you kind of watch Weibo take the Dragon without being able to answer for very much elsewhere.
Yeah, weird is a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Quite a painful spot there. And not too many other options. Just re-put up your defensive ward line. And in stages like this, you have to remain vigilant. And you have to be ready to pounce on an opportunity that presents itself. One lazy transition from one side of the map to the other between one of these objectives by Weibo, NRG have to jump on that to try and change the course of their fates.
I mean, we've seen it happen to North American teams a lot of times in the past at these international events when they get leads and they then have one of those lazy transitions. They don't do their due diligence setting up for an objective and the other squad will end up punishing them. We've been praising NRG for how they've played a lot of these fights, how they managed in their ability to qualify for the quarterfinals stage, and in that first game, even though they lost, they had a lot of good looks. But now, can they weather the storm? Can they play from behind and manage to find that angle?
They have a lot of people hovering on bottom side. Alistar was seen in the river. Contract's still here, though. Remember, with this tanky bruiser build, though, Merc Treads, plus the Starich Gauge pop, plus the Gore Drinker.
They don't kill him.
It's not like you're going to instantly pick off TheShy. You're going to pick off TheShy, and then you're going to have to fight TheShy for a long time before you take him down.
And you have to be so careful about putting resource into bot side. Baron is up and available, and I mean, with Light now having his Gale Force completed, that's his Kraken Slayer alongside it. Xiaohu in a good spot. Like, you over-index bot, you're going to lose a Baron.
Yeah, NRG have to at least have the Rage Blade on FBI to have a hope here.
I actually don't think with only 2 dudes you can kill TheShy at all. Not with Starix and Gore Drinker being the core items. I think he just gets away.
Unless he decides to let you.
Yeah.
Oh, benevolent one.
Yeah, you got to say your prayers, and maybe if he grants it to you, it'll happen. But I just don't see that being the case. Not with the current game state. We'll see how long NRG can hold on and try to get themselves the angle to bring things back. Because right now, Weibo's still running the show. They're up 3,000 gold. They're up 1 Drake. They're up 1 turret. And they're still pushing out the waves up here in the mid lane. 21 minutes into the game. The Baron's live. It's control over the topside river for Weibo.
Contractz just trying to sneak in, get vision, make sure that you're actually able to keep eyes on this. They're looking at Weiwei, but they don't know where Weibo is, so good call, back away, and just try and keep doing what you're doing. Get gold onto Palafox, get gold onto this Kai'Sa, catch the waves. Like, yes, Light is going to become a monster, but Palafox, if he can get a big shockwave, and you get that point-and-click CC from Contractz, that's a dead Aphelios regardless.
Yeah, they have to funnel the money here for NRG. Uh-oh.
FBI in some trouble, flashing away from the ulti. He knows how much damage Light is going to do from a long way away. Magnet Storm and IgNar, who tries to flash and get himself out. Blastgone's going to take him far, far away. A little bit more damage from Light is not enough to finish off the kill on the NRG support, but they claim the tier 1 turret. They claim flashes from both bottom laners of NRG.
Critical victories here from Weibo might even allow them to start up this Baron. FBI got sent back to base. He's got his flash. He's got his Rage Blade. NRG.
Dhokla stepping up, using the power of the Kai'Sa to just be that big meatball that can walk up here and just dare these guys to hit him. He knows he's not really in danger of dying unless they full commit. So it's still 3,500 gold lead for Weibo, forcing NRG to come try to answer them after they got those summoner spells.
Yeah, I mean, Dhoklas Kai'Sa, but you have to be careful you don't Kai'Sa it, because at the moment with Light being as strong as he is and having all the CC that's there for Weibo, like, you can't really face check. And yes, you have 2 items, but if you're by yourself like that and IgNar is in the base, you just don't have the team fight set up for NRG right now.
I think some of the best things that Dhokla could do actually would just be to try and keep Xiaohu out. If he's able to use his W, use his ultimate to keep the Neeko engage away, then NRG can use the Orianna plus Vi guaranteed engage onto Light and actually kill off the Aphelios. If they could make that happen and take those big tools away from Weibo, then maybe they can carve their way back into it and allow FBI to run rampant. But it's definitely going to be much more dangerous for him without that flash.
And I think that's why we got to look at the Dragon that's in 35 seconds. Already Weibo looking to try and fight for mid-party, lean down to that bot side. They have the vision that they need to actually settle into this river. And then for NRG, it's about trying to fight back on this mid-wave to then lean through into that bottom side. They don't have control of their bot wave either, so this is really tough for NRG to fight.
Okay, at least they have their 2-item power spikes on both carries. Now Palafox with his Seraphs finished for the Orianna, and Rage Blade already been done for FBI.
All right, NRG have control over topside river.
Here we go.
TheShy still hanging around the bottom half of the map, but remember, the level 15 Aatrox does have a teleport that he can use. NRG are going to start up the Baron. They're daring Weibo to come and answer. Palafox throwing the ball into the brush. Weiwei having to back away again now. 5,000 HP left for the Baron. Weiwei goes in with a Magnet Storm. Pop Blossom's gonna find one, but nothing else. Killer Instinct into the back line, but FBI's gonna die. Light gets the first kill, and IgNar has to run. Xiaohu stays alive, and NRG are crushed. A double kill back over to life. TheShy puts a blade through the heart of Contractz, and Palafox and Dhokla can do nothing but look on as Weibo will absolutely decimate North America's team.
The combo was separated from NRG, and Weibo pounds immediately onto RNG, and now they turn towards the Baron.
Light did such a good job kiting back with his Gale Force. Now though, Baron 6,000 HP and dropping.
Game number 1, they had to do a 3v5, now it's a 2v4. Dhokla going in, they're trying to find the damage onto Weiwei. Dhokla kills him off, and the Baron's not gonna be taken just yet. Dhokla still fighting. TheShy trying to find the Q3, but he ain't gonna grab it. Dhokla dashing back out of the way of the Infernal Chains, and once again, NRG outman defend the Baron.
It's all game 1 again! Are we gonna turn towards the Baron once more?
Well, Palafox and Dhokla, they look like they're recalling Dhokla here. He's got his teleport. They're going to go for it. They're going for the same play.
They're doing it again. NRG going after the Baron. The response from Weibo, what's it going to be? Baron down to 5,000. Weiwei's still dead.
Finish!
TP coming
Finish!
in. World Ender's still there. Baron dropped. However, the Pop Blossom just found 3. Xiaohu goes in. The massive shockwave nearly kills Light and Chris. Xiaohu's hanging on. Contractz turning it right back around on the Light, but he won't be able to find enough damage. Dhokla can't do it either. As NRG bodies hit the floor all over the river, they got the Baron, but it's Weibo who takes their lives.
One Baron buff gets out alive, and Light survives as well with only about 100 HP at the end there. They get scrappy again. This series exciting at every single objective. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, Weiwei tries to go in on towards Palafox, which separates the combo here. So even though you get the buy on towards Light, there's no shockwave to keep in place. He's able to reposition thanks to Milio and the Gale Force. And as FBI gets flown in, TheShy immediately turns on to take them out.
Exactly. It was the ultimate combo breaker there for Weibo. Because you saw FBI also full sent it in with Contractz. The Kai'Sa and the Vi full on with the dive. But because they also didn't have that ball, they weren't able to get their kill. Now, here's another look at it though. This is after they restarted, and Xiaohu came in big to start it out on the Neeko. Does get the big Pop Blossom. Shockwave does get Light and Crisp and kind of tag them and keep them low on the outside, but the job was already done. Light's able to take them down. Dhokla barely unable to take down the other carry as Contractz sneaks away.
You just don't have the damage once FBI's down. You can see Bramble Barrett hits onto FBI alongside the ultimate, and at that stage then Light's able to get the Infernal across the top to just whip him down.
Yeah, the idea there was everybody full send on Light and immediately kill. Here we go.
All right, Weiwei's the target. They're sending everything on the enemy jungler, but everything is not enough. Contractz at 200 HP as TheShy. Wings spread wide, looks to cut him off. FBI marked by Light, gravits him, catches up to him here from long range. They root him up. Jump forward with the Q1, ain't gonna do it. TheShy still going forward. Infernal Chains back onto the Alistar, pulls him into place. Not enough damage. Weibo nearly gets a kill, but not quite.
Positioning for Weibo in mid though, they want the K'Sante.
They go in, but the Pathmaker gets him away back underneath the tier 2. Is it gonna be enough just yet? Yes, it will! Light is unstoppable, and he shines bright with the rest of Weibo underneath the tier 2, or what was left of it after the push finds its way forward. It's a 6,000 gold lead for Weibo, and they're looking for the enemy base. Inhibitor turret under pressure. Weiwei leading the way as he has to crash down backwards, but a big ulti coming in from Light yet again. IgNar and Contractz now having a retreat as the tier 3 turret starts to crumble. Weibo is a machine once they get ahead, and they're not stopping yet. Palafox is run down, and Light is making a highlight reel out of these guys.
Run from it! Hide from it! Love it or hate it! Aphelios has made it to the world stage, and Weibo want to ride those coattails to another victory here against NRG.
All right, they're going to back off those Nexus turrets, but look at the destruction Weibo have laid waste to the NRG base. Bottom side turrets down. They're taking away the red jungle as well. Contractz has something to say about it, but he's forced to flash out.
Contractz thought he had something to say about it, but Weibo immediately shut him up. They were not going to put up with that.
He did. It was just sorry.
It was, please don't. Okay, fine, sorry. Meanwhile, now they're looking for TheShy. Pick their way back in.
All right, they're going after the Aatrox, but he's already got the Sterix. He's finding a lot of healing, but it ain't going to be enough. Shut down over to Contractz. Xiaohu makes a TP, but what can they find? IgNar looking to regroup. They got to try to save FBI. He slammed back into the ground, and Xiaohu found him. Now we got a 4v4. Even fight, but it looks like Weibo doesn't want to take it.
This is something that in the LCS, NRG were quite adept at. Even in games where they were behind, they just full send, look for picks when people are recalling, when people are trying to reset, when people are going for objectives, and just try and force their way back into games. NRG were never a team to go down quietly. They always try and fight their way back into it.
And that nerdy would have been a good pick if that gold had gone to FBI. You'll see it here, 1,000 gold shutdown off this pick onto TheShy, but it actually ends up going to Contractz in the end. They just don't quite get the kill across the FBI. They see the TP coming through from Xiaohu. They have to try and get this Aatrox off of FBI. And then at that stage, FBI's already burnt Flash. Xiaohu has the opportunity to chase him down, and Weibo will happily nab him for themselves.
Yep. Teleport in from Xiaohu there. FBI had flashed away from the Aatrox, so didn't have it there. Reset once again, though. Back to the action. Topside is getting pushed here by Weibo. Xiaohu got out there first. All right. They will pull it back here. It is a full minute until the next Dragon.
It's also a minute until the next Baron. Just like game number one, Weibo are sitting in an amazing game state where they're the ones who can get the soul, they're the ones who can get the Baron, they're the ones who can pull NRG apart to two different critical junctures of the map.
Especially if you're looking at, hey, we get Mountain Soul against this combo from NRG. That gives so much opportunity to Light to survive that big burst potential that NRG are trying to play around. That's why they're already positioned in towards this Dragon. They know how crucial this could be in shutting NRG out of this game.
All right, everybody grouped up around mid. North America is very familiar with this situation. TheShy getting jumped on by Contractz here, loses a little bit of HP, but nothing too serious. Jumping right back in, goes for the Q3, but he won't find it. Now with the World Ender, IgNar with a knock up onto 2. They crash down into FBI. He's under pressure. TheShy is still alive. Dhokla goes all out with the Bomb Blossom, finds another one. TheShy's still not going to be killed just yet, but FBI finally got him. IgNar giving the other 2 away. NRG going for the team fight. IgNar, the target. He can't be saved, and Light is godlike. It's a 4v4 on the Rift, as Weibo have control over the Drake Pit, and Contractz has no way in. Mountain Soul goes over to Weibo.
They don't have any opportunity to get in. Palafox is looking for something sneaky. Has no damage, no ult available, and it will be Weibo picking up the soul. TP available on TheShy. I think Weibo are going to rush Baron.
They certainly are, but so are NRG. Contractz is trying to get there early so he can get some vision.
The problem is, Dacta just said it. It's the TP for TheShy. As soon as he spawns, he's right there. IgNar's got to take the long way, and I hope the Cal's been doing his cardio. NRG, there's no way they get there in time. The Baron's already at 5K. Weibo's going to get the soul. Weibo's going to get the Baron. Weibo's got everything. Contractz tries to get away with the Vault Breaker. Tries to stay alive. Dhokla's in the middle of everybody. The Shockwave Asante. He gets the Shockwave placement over for Palafox. A massive Q3, but there's no follow-up. Weibo's in trouble as FBI and Contractz are now fighting TheShy. They take him low, but they can't take him down. TheShy's Aatrox is a raid boss, and he's still fighting. IgNar finally drops him as they come in with a massive counterattack, and the Pop Blossom claims FBI. The follow-up claims IgNar, and Weibo is about to take the game.
NRG got TheShy, but Weibo are coming for the Nexus. They've got Baron, and they can push hard.
They may have got the raid boss, but it's not gonna matter. Weibo still pushing. They go in after the enemy carry. Palafox trying to get away, and he barely survived. Now Contractz, he's the sacrificial lamb. Light is legendary, and Dhokla and Palafox cannot stop him. Game number 1 was close. Game number 2, absolutely not. Dhokla can't do it. He goes all out, but he's only gonna buy a moment. Light is legendary, and Weiwei leads the charge. The Nexus is under pressure as Palafox keeps trying to fight back, but the Aphelios will take Nexus number 2, and Weibo hits match point.
Weibo are not stopping here in the quarterfinals. finding these consistent opportunities to turn around the small picks NRG are looking for and finding the win again and again.
Such impressive stuff here from Weibo. Light really stepping into center stage. TheShy Aatrox also was a bit of a factor, Flowers.
Oh yeah, TheShy Aatrox showing up on the world stage yet again. Weibo move on to match point with that win, and we're going to be right back with game 3. But first, a little bit of a rewind. Let's check in what Contractz thought was his favorite moment of the G2 series, thanks to the Oppo Cam.
What's up, guys? I'm Contractz. Just beat G2. I'm feeling fantastic. If I had a favorite clip from Worlds this tournament, I think I would definitely say my EQ flash on Cap's top lane.
Contractz has caught Cap!
I'm pretty proud of that moment.
Bringing in a new roommate to save money, is that the plan?
Say hi to Glenn from work.
Yeah, I think I have a much better plan. We switched to my plan from Verizon.
That is a good plan. Glenn.
Get my plan starting at just $25 when you bring your own phones. Plus, save when you add perks like the Disney Bundle. It's your Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Bringing in a new roommate to save money, is that the plan?
Say hi to Glenn from work.
Yeah, I think I have a much better plan. We switched to my plan from Verizon.
That is a good plan. Glenn.
Get my plan starting at just $25 when you bring your own phones. Plus, save when you add perks like the Disney Bundle. It's your Verizon.